I now turn this over to my colleague from California, Senator Padilla.
Thank you, Senator Lujan, and good morning to all of you. Thank you for joining us in what is not just an important, but obviously a very timely press conference. I also want to thank Senator Catherine Cortez Masto for pulling us together, leading us as she does always, our friends at Forward.us, and all the advocates that have been partners and continue to be partners in the fight and that are here today. 40 days. 40 days. We're about 40 days away from Donald Trump reoccupying the White House and bringing with him immigration extremists like Stephen Miller and Tom Homan. Now, if we recall during the course of his campaign, one of the things that President-elect Trump made very, very clear is that they will do everything they can to roll back protections, and they plan to deport millions of long-term immigrants, including mixed status families. So what does that mean? It means that today we find ourselves in a country where thousands and thousands of DACA recipients and temporary protected status holders fear for their lives. They fear being forced out of the home that they've known for decades. They fear being separated from their citizen spouses or their citizen children. And they fear the violence, oppression, and fundamental lack of opportunity that awaits them in their home countries thousands of miles away. But we also are emphasizing today that, yes, it is a moral problem, but beyond that, it is a clear and present danger to our nation's economy. And we need the people to understand that very, very clearly. And let me explain. By taking work authorization for hundreds of thousands of workers away, we're gutting our own workforce, a workforce that's so critical for the continued growth of our nation's economy. And for all the voters who turned out in November, who told campaigns and pollsters that top of mind for them was the high cost of living, the cost of housing, the price of food, and so much more, energy costs. Let's be clear that mass deportations will directly result in an economic disaster and higher prices. See, millions of the immigrants that Donald Trump promises to target are our neighbors, community members, co-workers who contribute to our country and to our tax base. That includes over 160,000 DACA recipients and over 70,000 TPS holders in California alone. Now, Donald Trump also threatens and vilifies immigrants in his efforts to distract from the fact that he has no real plan. Kind of reminds me of the years and years of attacks on the Affordable Care Act. They threatened to repeal the ACA, and he never came forward with an alternative. And so it is with this. He vilifies immigrants, promises mass deportation, and has presented zero plans for how to strengthen the economy. And certainly no plan for how to reform and strengthen our immigration system. But I also stand here today with some hope. Hope because President Biden still has power while he's in office to help prevent this disaster. And so I'm joining my colleagues to urge the Biden administration to swiftly protect eligible immigrants from countries like Nicaragua, El Salvador, Ecuador from having their lives in America stripped away by restoring their TPS protections and extending them. We're also asking President Biden to urge his administration to do everything in their power to continue to protect DACA recipients, including through processing applications as expeditiously as possible and finalizing some pending regulations. Now, we've been asking for some of this for years now, but today we do so again knowing that the threats to immigrant communities and extended families is both real and imminent. President Biden, you have the chance to cement your legacy on the economy, as well as your humanitarian legacy. Use this moment to protect long-term immigrants and to help strengthen our nation's economy. También quisiera decir en español, para la prensa en español, buenos días. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Estamos reunidos aquí con solo 40 días que faltan antes de que Donald Trump de nuevo ocupa la Casa Blanca. Y sabemos que acompañándolo, personal que incluye extremistas como Stephen Miller y Tom Homan. Y mientras cientos de miles de beneficiarios de DACA y titulares de estatus de protección temporal, TPS, temen por sus vidas en los Estados Unidos, temen tener que abandonar sus hogares, temen tener o poder ser separados de sus esposos, esposas ciudadanas o sus hijos ciudadanos, y temen la violencia y falta de oportunidad que los espera en sus países de origen. Y queremos ser claros que no solo es un problema moral, sino es una amenaza económica para los Estados Unidos. Al quitarles la autorización de trabajo a cientos de miles de trabajadores, estamos destruyendo nuestra propia fuerza laboral. Y las deportaciones masivas que nos ha prometido Donald Trump serán desastrosas para nuestra economía. Donald Trump amenaza a los inmigrantes también para tratar de distraer al hecho que él no tiene ningún plan para fortalecer nuestra economía y ningún plan para mejorar el sistema de inmigración. Pero estamos reunidos hoy también con esperanza. Esperanza porque Joe Biden sigue siendo presidente. En el tiempo que tiene todavía, tiene el poder para prevenir este desastre. Pedimos que el presidente Biden y su administración rápidamente proteja a los inmigrantes elegibles para protecciones de TPS de los países como Nicaragua, El Salvador y Ecuador. Y les pedimos que hagan todo lo posible para proteger a los beneficiarios de DACA, procesando las solicitudes lo más pronto posible y finalizando unas regulaciones que tienen pendiente. Y haciendo esto, el presidente Biden puede fortalecer su legado económico y humanitario. Este es el momento. Este es el momento para proteger a los inmigrantes de largo plazo y fortalecer nuestra economía.